Welcome everyone to the Dragoon's Lair podcast. I am the Blue Dragoon himself, Daniel the Dragon, and with me once again is the incomparable family man himself, James Haynes.
Out of the sphere, folks. How are we doing tonight?
That's right. So, on the agenda for today, we are going to be continuing our talk on the latest episodes of It, Welcome to Deery.
Yes.
We are also going to be discussing Can You Feel the Beat, the Lisa story.
Yes.
As well as Guillermo del Toro's version of Frankenstein.
Absolutely.
But first, Jimmy, do you have anything you want to talk about? Is there something that just feels like it needs to come straight from you?
From Out of the Sphere in the Golden Archives on Netflix, I'd like to recommend to everybody the Clive Davis, The Soundtrack of Our Lives documentary, just viewed. Very interesting, very impactful how a genius man like himself, Clive Davis, started at Columbia Records, merged over and created Arista, went to BMG, created J Records, and is basically a true billionaire who, in the field of music, is a genius. So, you get a chance? Please, Clive Davis, The Soundtrack of Our Lives on Netflix.
All right, so we got that. Now, just a little bit of a couple anime recommendations. I've been watching A Gatherer's Life in Isekai, An Adventurer's Life in Isekai. It's a weird title because isekai is actually a genre of being transported to another world. So an adventure in isekai. The title doesn't make sense, but it's basically about a character who he goes to another world and is sent there by the god to make some changes in the world and see how it would affect things. And he has the ability of a gatherer. And it's actually kind of cute because he has like a little black dragon that's his partner. And the dragon is actually absolutely adorable. Oh. So it's a cute show. Unfortunately, bad title. But then, there's not much you can do about that one. Because an isekai is actually a genre, not a title for an adventure. It's weird. So we have that. I've also been catching up, making sure, staying up to date because Crunchyroll has kind of been a little weird. And one of the issues I had recently was they went and they put out the latest episode of Spy Family. Mm-hmm. Comes out on Saturdays, same as the latest episodes of My Hero Academia's final season. And we had a little issue where it wasn't popping up. I actually had to go over to the browse section so that this way I had to then go look and search for like what was new and then to see the new release to watch it. Even though I'm watching it subtitled because I didn't want to wait for the dub, it really was out of whack. Crunchyroll needs to do something when it comes to their interface because they've had issues where episodes are there, but they're not there. And then you also have another problem, which is some of the episodes are actually showing up, but they're dubbed, but the subtitles cannot be turned off. But the thing is, if you check back maybe a week later or a month later, they're not there. Yeah, so there's something going on. So Crunchyroll, can you guys please do something about your site and kind of fix it? This lackluster element that you guys are doing just isn't really working anymore. So just my 2 cents there. So now, Jimmy, let's go and we're going to start talking about it.
Before we get to that, I got some extra news.
Oh.
I don't know if you've heard, because I know you were a little bit of a fan. I don't know, how much fan of Stargate?
A little bit.
Have you heard what Amazon and MGM are going to do?
They're doing a new Stargate?
They're doing a new Stargate. And the gentleman that did the 3 Stargates for TV is on board for doing it.
Really? So,
and it's going to be on Prime.
So SG-1, Atlantis, and I think there was one other series.
The gentleman that produced all those, he's on board to do a whole new Stargate.
All right.
No, I know. Good to hear.
That's actually interesting because, this is a little off topic of what we were going to do, but Stargate, I enjoyed the movie back in the day with Kurt Russell. The show came out a little later, and I think it came out at the right time, but then there was a lot of changes in who was on there. And I will say, one of the things that I was impressed with was when they brought certain characters in and some of the actors that came in. Corey Nemec coming in, formerly Parker Lewis Can't Lose.
Yep.
I had seen like some of his Stargate stuff, but I always remembered him from Parker Lewis.
Who doesn't?
But I also remembered him from the made-for-TV version of The Stand.
Yes.
He then went, and I got
The first Stand, mind you.
Yes, the original version.
Yep.
Which was the 4-part miniseries as opposed to the, I think, 10 episodes.
On Paramount Plus with Whoopi.
Yep. But I got to meet Corey Nemec at one of the conventions, and probably the absolute nicest guy that was there. And I actually felt a little bad because I was not intending to meet him, and I was there more to see Nick Stahl because he was in the same room, and Nick Stahl was delayed because he had lunch or whatever it was. So I went over to Corey Nemec, and I had a better time talking to Corey Nemec than I did with Nick Stahl.
Hey,
I really wish I would have spent more time talking
There's
to Corey Nemec.
you always go to a convention. There's some guys you want to see, they'll give you the time of day, and then there's other guys. It's like, hi, yes, thank you, next.
Yeah, no, Corey Nemec though is absolutely great. You know, hearing about Stargate coming back, it makes me wonder: are they going to have some of the characters from previous shows coming together for this one? It would be nice to see, you know, if Jewel State comes back, because I know she was on Stargate Atlantis.
Well, as we say, we got to wait and see what they're going to do.
Yep. Well, we do have one little piece of wrestling news, because we do have the upcoming Survivor Series War Games coming up.
Mr. Regal? Yes. Gentlemen?
No, we're not doing that, because we're not blowing my ears out with the microphone. So War Games is going to be coming on the 29th of November.
Yes.
Which on the 26th of November we will have the first part of the final season of Stranger Things.
Yes.
But we also got the news that there is in the new year, starting in January, that USA has come to an agreement with WWE, and they will be doing 3-hour-long SmackDowns again, which I don't know if it's a bad idea or if it's a good idea. Because
let's bring it to the Animaniacs.
Good idea, bad idea. Well,
yeah.
The thing is that when you actually think about it, though, they have an opportunity when it comes to being able to tell more stories.
Bringing out more talent.
I think SmackDown is suffering because I think they found their place in the 3-hour mark.
Well, you got to remember one thing. They got rid of Collision. They took out Collision. So, they took out Rampage.
Yeah.
They took out Rampage, and then they went back, okay, we're going back to 2 hours, folks.
Well, the thing is, though, that a 3-hour show might actually benefit them on a Friday night, because usually on a Friday night there's not really too much going on, but also that SmackDown has a lot of stuff going on. Their ratings have been suffering, and I think it might actually be a good thing, giving them that little extra time for the storytelling element.
At least a little more, get a little more of the talent out there that they have.
Yeah, and I mean, the John Cena, farewell tour has been going great as far as I'm concerned. I'm liking this new tournament, and you can tell that WWE actually trusts Dominic Mysterio, because 2 to 3 matches with John Cena out of his final batches of matches coming up. So there's a lot of good stuff that's happening. So I'm interested to see how the Saturday night's main event is going to go. But if anyone is going to watch the Survivor Series War Games, I don't know how you're watching it, but
there's Dave and Buster's, there's other mighty ways to watch it.
Yeah, I'm not VPNing anything. I'm just saying that giving ESPN $30 is extra for that premium service of theirs might not be what you want to do.
No.
But I am interested to see where Joe Hendry's going to go, because he was signed to an official.
Oh, wait a minute. You better check your door.
Oh, trust me. If he came through right now, I would welcome him. We have a microphone sitting right there for him.
Yes.
Nah, love Joe Hendry.
I love the entrance. I'm sorry, the man. I hate to say it, but he's got to have it with the Pro Wrestling Illustrated. They got to give him a plaque for something.
Well, that's the thing.
He's like one of the most popular players around there.
Of course. Joe Hendry's doing such a great job. He signed officially with WWE. But I do have to ask you, since before we go to it, welcome to Deery, did you see in the John Cena tournament the 2 returns that may just be one-offs, but I got really excited for both of them?
Oh, you mean Nick Dolph Ziggler Nemeth and...
the Long Island IZ, Zack Ryder, a.k.a. Matt Cardona. I loved seeing Matt Cardona in the ring with LA Knight. But when Ziggler came out, I was like, they got the perfect guy who's going to sell. Because Ziggler has always been
Ziggler blew off the roof before 2 other gentlemen came out to the ring that night. And MSG is still recuperating from that.
Exactly. So they did one hell of a job with that. And I'm loving the way that this tournament bracket's going, even though I wish we kind of saw the brackets. But I think...
Well, I know we kind of saw her in a complicated, crazy, ridiculous way. But I will say this. I do not want that big beast from Europe to win.
Well,
They keep predicting it, but please stop, you internet freaking trolls.
Well,
you guys are also the guys that follow Tom Brady too, so get off the wagon.
Listen, you got to realize something. That yes, Gunther came out. He's back with his original music.
Yes.
He's not wearing the jacket. He's came out with a robe.
Yeah.
So a different presentation, but at the same time, you can make him look like a monster by being the guy that ends John Cena's career and Goldberg's career in the same year. Yeah. Within 6 months, he would have taken them both out. However, it's too predictable. Mm-hmm. I don't think they should do it.
No.
But at the same time, I don't know where they're going to go with this. So we've got a few weeks to see what's going to happen.
There was a rumor on Monday that Cena was going to face a returning wrestler. But like I said, the trolls just kept trying to egg on.
Oh, listen.
It was supposed to be Levesque. They rumored Levesque. I'm like, oh, thank God, no.
It can't happen.
No, because he's not in a good state.
He physically can't do it.
Nope.
Jimmy, please. No.
Whoops, sorry. Tasty beverage.
Yeah. Yeah, not advertised, mind you.
No, we're not running on that.
No, but the thing is, we've got a lot of stuff that they can do and they can't do. Listen, if you're going to do a returning superstar is going to go and take on Cena for his final match, why not it just be Liv Morgan?
That would be hysterical.
Or Bianca Belair. Talk about a pop that you would see. It could be hilarious. But now let's go and we're going to talk about it. Welcome to Deery.
Absolutely.
So these episodes have really been expanding the Stephen King universe. Now, I know there's a whole thing. I don't know the full scope of the Dark universe, but I know it involves the Dark Tower series and everything.
Yeah.
But it was interesting to see with this stuff because we're seeing more of the history of the caretaker who was originally Scatman Crothers' character.
Yes.
Now going and being a soldier, using his shining ability, looking for what we can theoretically say is they're looking for it. Mm-hmm. They're not sure what it is, but they're looking for something.
I believe, what is it? Hank Grogan, I believe it is.
I believe so.
Yeah.
There's a lot. That's the thing. There's a lot of these characters that are in the show, and they are all over the place. You've got characters that they're relatives to some of the other characters.
And I got some questions on that myself. If you want to go with it,
go ahead. What question do you have?
Leroy Hanlon. Yeah. You know who he's related to, right? Affiliated with in this from the original.
Yeah.
Mike Hanlon.
Yep.
Okay. Now he's here. He's in the Air Force.
Yep.
Okay. What were the Hanlons? What was Mike Hanlon and his family doing for work in the original movies, you could say?
Well, they were They started off as farmers.
Yeah.
Pig farmers, really. But we didn't know what they did before. Mm-hmm. And with the way they set up with the soldiers being able now getting their perk of being able to have a place where they can relax because, there's still the segregation aspect.
Yeah.
So they went, and I'm wondering if that's the early point of the Black Spot Club that causes the fire that affects Hanlon.
Yeah.
The Hanlon family, which felt more like that affected them in the more current movies, It and It Chapter 2, versus the made-for-TV series with Tim Curry.
Yeah, because the movie covered more, expanded more.
Well, this is sticking with the movie version.
Yes.
Because the made-for-TV version originally took place in pretty much the same time period as It Welcome to Deery, because then it was the 80s when it made its return in the Tim Curry version.
Yeah.
So now this started in the 80s for the new one, and then it's now current day. So we've gone back to like the 50s.
Late 50s, 60s.
And remember, one of the characters that was in the very first episode that is no longer around after the first episode happened to be one of Stan's relatives as well. So, we're seeing like this universe expanding more because they keep mentioning Shawshank Prison. There's hints about The Shining. But the thing I actually think was probably the best well done was the Native American aspect of it, of the tribe that is affiliated with Maturin the turtle. So I think they did a great job with them.
And there's also one more aspect that I don't think you picked up on it.
Which one?
You know how she keeps going into that shop?
Yeah.
Needful Things.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the
because
thing.
that book came out after It.
Yeah,
and The Stand.
And that's the thing. They're connecting the universe in a multitude of ways.
Which I appreciate King letting Warner Brothers and everybody do, because...
Well, they're making references. They're not fully exploring that part of the universe. But I think this is probably one of the first times Stephen King has actually been okay with what's going on.
Well, Castle Rock he was okay with also, but it only lasted 2 seasons.
Yeah, but he also hasn't been like vocal where he's been vocal about other projects not going the way that he liked. We know he was not happy with the way they did the Dark Tower movie.
Yeah.
They rushed certain elements of things. There are stories of his. You figure he wanted to figure out how to control and make a movie. What did he do? He went and did Maximum Overdrive.
That's right. You got to remember one thing.
And that one went terribly for him.
And we got to remember, he's not the only author. Also, remember, he's the second author to do something like that. You know who the first one was, right?
No, who was the first?
Crichton.
Okay.
Rising Sun.
Yeah.
Rising Sun was mistypecast in a way. So a lot of people were not aware of that until afterwards. And so he had to put himself more and more in depth with working with the Jurassic Parks with Spielberg. Coma was his. It went perfect. Then they went years away. They did Jurassic Park. They did ER. Yep. They had in between, they had Rising Sun. That's where he's like, time out. No, I'm going to be around here when we start doing this stuff anymore, because I didn't like how you guys did it.
Yeah, I do have to say, though, I like the characters that they've been doing with It. Welcome to Deery. They've gone and, they've really expanded. And having... I always hate when I blank on the name for the character. What is it? Dick Halloran?
Yes.
He uses his shining abilities.
Yes.
The fact that he's now worried because he's come in contact with the entity that we all know as Pennywise.
Yes. And how the kids got...
Oh, the kids in the cemetery was absolutely amazing, but seeing the concept of that veil where it's like they took the pictures, but the adults aren't seeing it. But even though you can still see, here's that clown in the background, even though it's a little overexposed, but they were still able to do it.
And you see how Pennywise is getting all the heads, and now he's little by little starting to come into play, if you notice, like you said, with the handlings. What did they see twice?
Yep.
The red balloon.
Yeah, the balloon is starting to make its appearance. Stephen King is the only person who could try to make a balloon scary.
Oh, yeah.
But he he did a decent job. I was actually having a conversation with somebody earlier about trying to explain this whole like universal thing. The thing is, when it comes to like Stephen King's universe stuff, he writes so much.
Yeah.
And I think
his books are like this.
Yeah, his problem is he writes books bigger than the Bible.
I know.
Like, he pretty much writes his own Bible. He gives so much information.
My mother, when she would read his books, she'd wait till, like, if she was doing classes and everything, and even working, she would wait till after she was done with the semester, and she's like, I asked her, did you start reading this? She says, no. And then she'd wait, and then even the summer, because she read everybody's got to remember, the Green Mile is 5 books.
Yeah.
It's not one, it's 5 books and everything.
And
so you have to.
Yeah, and that's the thing, you know. What was it? The Green Mile took place at Shawshank Prison, didn't it?
No, that one took place in Alabama, Mississippi, around there, in the South.
All right. Yeah, it's been a while, so that's why
Yeah.
it's like trying to remember all of them. The thing is that when you look at that entire universe that Stephen King has created, his books are over 1,000 pages on average.
Yeah.
The earlier
Give or
stuff,
take.
the earlier stuff is a lot smaller, but then when you go and you start in with like The Stand, The Green Mile, all the books within the Dark Tower series, even
Stand By Me was a short story.
but don't forget Under the Dome.
Yes.
Which became a 3-season show, which I think they probably could have done more, but it did veer off from the book a lot. But it was actually really good. So
I agree.
It's just one of those things where I like what they're doing. HBO, like having those little vignettes at the end talking about what they're doing. I feel like more shows should be doing that.
Oh, exactly. They do. HBO always does it. I mean, they did
But they do skip
House
sometimes.
of Drafts. Exactly. I know. Well, this way to give a little content, like a little break, and give everybody just to join everything together and everything. Like if you're gonna do like some of it, if it's long enough, like they did with House of Dragons, you can do it on every episode. Peacemaker, they did in what was it, 2 or 3? 3 or 4?
About
3 or 4
of them.
All right, so that explains on that.
Even though they have official podcasts.
I know for that, for the House of Dragons,
Which
Pacemaker. I was going to say Pacemaker.
No, but
Peacemaker.
Well, here's the thing. HBO has official podcasts.
Yeah.
You know, we'd be happy to do that for you guys, you know.
You can email us at
DragoonsLayerPodcast@gmail.com. That's all one word. Dragoon is spelled with 2 O's. That's DragoonsLayerPodcast@gmail.com. You can let us know. We're more than happy to pick one show and run through an entire episode.
We wouldn't mind.
No. But
We got some coastal friends that can help us.
exactly. So, you know, keep us in mind, HBO, and do yourselves a favor. HBO, Warner Brothers, Discovery, do not sell your soul to Skydance.
No.
Because, frankly, this monopoly stuff is getting out of control.
I know. So people are going to have to go to jail soon.
Well, the thing is...
I mean, the free parking's already been taken.
Yeah. No, the thing is, though, it's like I feel like if HBO right now with Welcome to Deery and some of the other things they've been doing, if they go under the control of another company, they're going to lose out on the ability to make some of the quality products that they've been doing. I know there's issues that people are having with the Harry Potter series that's coming out, but we'll find out more about that when it actually starts getting ready to release.
Yeah, because I've started to see who the cast are.
Yep.
And everything, and they already listed two Dracos. They have listed on hand Lithgow is going to play Dumbledore. I like that.
That's a decent possibility.
He's a decent character. They already have what do you call Hagrid.
Yeah, well, considering the fact that the second Dumbledore actually never read the book, which is why him coming in and shouting, "Did you put your name in that goblet of fire?" He never did that in the book.
Nope.
It was calm. He was like, "Did you put your name in the goblet of fire?" It was not.
That should have been Richard Harris. That was Richard Harris.
And it would have been Richard Harris if he hadn't passed away.
I know.
Now, the thing is, I got to say, I'm loving the effects that they are doing for it, and I'm hoping that, there's no merger that's going to...
The snail eyes.
Oh, yeah.
That was... Did you see in the vignettes?
Yeah.
The special... Oh, my God.
The vignette showed how they did that, but the quality of that effect alone was so good. I feel like if they were to merge with another company, the quality's going to start to dip because now you have too many companies all under one umbrella, so they could say we don't need to put that much money into stuff anymore.
Yeah, we got to remember everything else. Everybody still goes through Skywalker and everything, and all the other companies.
Not everybody's using ILM for that. That's the only thing.
I know, but they're always getting used somehow.
Yeah, somehow, but you know, there's always ways around that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they've done such a great job. The effect for like the fear. I honestly thought that little girl was cooked, and it was the saving grace of being able, the way they did it. It worked so well, and seeing how the practical effect was done on set from the vignette afterwards. That's why sometimes you can't skip the credits.
No.
And HBO's got a good track record of that one, but then, you know, there are other ones where you have to stop and you have to go look to see if there's extras afterwards. So I think they're doing a good job with that one.
I know, it makes me laugh because I used to watch the Tokyo Vice, an hour-long show that I used to watch in an hour and 20 minutes. Why? Because they have the Japanese subtitles, and it's like, okay, hit playback, reverse, playback.
Listen, I enjoyed stuff like that. But
Me too.
But it was a problem back in the day because the subtitles went way too fast.
I know.
I think as we've gotten older, we're faster at reading, but also like the cadence of how they speak, the subtitles. That's one of the reasons why, like, I always love watching anime dubbed over subbed, especially nowadays. Nowadays, the dubs have gotten so much better, but at the same time, you still can't pass up some of the older stuff. Like one that I think everyone knows just was done to go completely off the rails was the Ghost Stories English dub, which I believe you can find that on Netflix. It should be on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
It's on Crunchyroll. It is definitely something I recommend watching because the stuff that comes out of their mouths is so unhinged. They're not following whatever the story was originally supposed to be. There are some of the jokes.
Yeah.
It works beautifully. Now, let's move on, though, to Can You Feel the Beat, the Lisa story.
Yes, let's go a little relaxed before we hit the deep stuff.
Oh, yeah, because the next one, director's always hit or miss for me, but Can You Feel the Beat, the Lisa story? I still listen to songs from Lisa.
Who
and
doesn't
Paul
listen to
today.
freestyle?
But it's like I specifically listened to their stuff from back in the day today because it was so good. And seeing like who is portraying like this emotional story, but we know this isn't a documentary.
No.
So because it's not a documentary, there are definitely things that I'm sure were left out of Lisa's life because it was only a glimpse. And she was a phenomenal talent back then and even still to this day.
Yeah.
And she's in the movie.
Yep.
And the funny part is, though, when you look on like IMDb, it has her listed, but it only lists her as herself when she played her own mother.
I know.
And I gotta say, it's like she did a great job portraying her mother, and I'm pretty sure that had to have been like such an emotional story for her to see come out. What was one of your favorite parts of this, like, filmography, documentary kind
Basically, besides learning about, reminding yourself where she came from, which was the streets of New York, streets of not only New York City, but the streets of Queens and everything. And you remember what's around streets of Queens back then, and all that was hip-hop. But this was freestyle and everything, which was amazing. But one of the favorite parts is when they finally get their shot at the big time. And they did not blow a chance on it everything.
And that was the thing. It's like knowing that a 15-year-old Puerto Rican girl was able to make it as big as she did back in the 80s. That was inspiring for a lot of people. And just to make sure I use the correct term, because people were correcting me on a bunch of stuff online, because apparently I called for JoJo's as seasons and it's arcs. Nitpicking aside, it really breaks down to the fact that it ends up being that this is a docudrama. So
Yeah.
it's a biopic, but it's also a documentary drama because it's not the full like story. But this is like seeing like how the beginnings were so humble. She's working in like folding clothes in the back room of stores. She's out there on the streets singing, dancing, like trying to make extra money. And it's like to get that opportunity after like just the start of the movie alone was like so impactful because they even tell you like, you know, there's the trigger warning at the very beginning and you see her like the father just snaps and she comes at the father with a bat. Like you already knew this was going to be like the struggle coming up. And like seeing like one of the things that I was intrigued by was the fact of how you see how sleazy the producers and like the agents
were. Oh yeah.
That they were like rushing to get her in and like get her to sign, like convince your mother to sign. And it's like they had such a control over everything.
And they just wanted them to sign it, and they didn't let them read it because there was all those little stipulations like, oh, we get to say on this, we get to say on that, and everything.
Yeah.
It's like, did you read your contract over? No, why? Read this.
And then being able to see like that she had come down with cancer and she was going through all of that while still trying to not lose her career.
Exactly.
It like that is like so inspiring.
And even her backup dancer, not only backup singer, who basically became her agent and was her best friend. How she came up from being this pushing drugs and everything, to almost dying thanks to her father.
Oh yeah,
pushing the stuff, and even how Lisa went in and it's like, excuse me, what are you going to do, huh? You're going to face that gun at me? No, I got unmarked policemen outside the door there. You want to touch me?
Oh yeah, Lisa was a badass while going through cancer treatments.
Yep.
And that was back in the earlier days with the go bags to be able to treat on the go, which is a little more common nowadays, but back then was not very common.
No.
So it's like she really was like the total badass, and being able to navigate around these sleazy producers that they thought they could manipulate her because she was so young getting started and everything. And like the fact that she's not only been a singer but a performer where she's acting and she's been on like Broadway and stuff. Her career blew up, and just this one little glimpse is something that is awe-inspiring, and I think would inspire a lot of people.
Agreed, very much. I mean, I even like in the fact that I complimented they mentioned and they showed him what was it? Jelly Bean.
Yep.
Jelly Bean Martinez, because he's on. I always like, it's like, who is this guy? If you listen to on Sirius XM, the Studio 54, he has his little time on there on the weekends spinning and everything. And I'll tell you, he was one of the biggest. I always remember hearing one of my old bosses say, I'm going to go to the city, I'm going to this club because he's there. Or they're going to this club because he's there. And because he always had a good influence with he's like one of those make or break yous. He's like I said, I watched Clive Davis. Clive Davis was the guy. They told him, no, you got to go see Clive Davis. Why? Because he'll tell you if you make a break. And that's that's exactly like this.
And not only that, but also I love the fact that they nailed like the actual style from the 80s, like the hair, the clothing. Like this was like on point, and I think this was perfect as like especially for Netflix, where it's like they've got Stranger Things coming back.
Yeah.
And that because it has that tie-in with the 80s, this is like such a great moment for like, you're seeing not the small town, you're seeing like New York.
What would be good is if VH1 let out the I Love the 80s, the three little little documentaries that they did, which was too funny.
Well, that was the thing, though. VH1, MTV, they've gotten rid of their music stuff. They really haven't done anything music-wise. That's why, like, people are making the joke. What did you think the M in MTV stood for? Millennial?
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like we grew up when the music.
We grew
was
up with
there.
MTV when MTV was MTV.
Now, I didn't have it throughout the 80s because didn't have cable back then. But in the 90s, it was like, but even in like the early 80s, going over to like somebody else's house who had cable to be able to see it, like my aunt, my uncle, they would have it. So it's like I was there at the house watching and stuff. It was always something that I enjoyed because you're getting to hear stuff and you could see the video that matched up. Which we've done we've been covering like a lot of like the music stuff lately.
Yeah.
Which is, we've gotten a lot of stuff that's gone on with that. And like Lisa has absolutely been like one of those privileges that we've been able to watch this documentary about, because it really went and shows like not only somebody making something of themselves, but also being able to see like, oh, we've got all of this other stuff going on.
And like I said, she was from Queens.
Yep.
And around that area there. And like I said, you look at that area, that was all hip-hop and everything, with Run DMC, with LL Cool J, Eric B. Rakim, etc.
Oh, yeah.
And all this. And then you see her coming out of everything. It actually pointed a little... I mean, I've talked about this with my good friend Mitch, which cracks me up this week. The man that does BET Awards, Golden Globes, he was down at the Country Music Awards writing. Hey, God bless him. Special shout out to you, my brother. I told you I'd get you.
Yeah.
But you look at it. It shows you that there's more. That New York always was a melting pot. Besides with all the ethnicities, with the music, with the genres, even if you look at it, even TV and movies, because everything all went through New York and everything.
Yeah,
which is good. But you know what made me laugh at it? I don't know if you caught it.
What?
The way they did the movie, it wasn't like your normal movie. It was like a movie that they put on CBS or something. Like you see a break, then they go back to the movie. It's like it gave me a little bit of a chuckle inside of it, because I'm like, what is this, a Lifetime movie?
Well, yeah, and
I know.
but that was the thing. It gave us like a lot of stuff that we were able to see. There were certain things like maybe you didn't know about it, maybe you weren't sure. So like, but because we're on the topic of music, we've had like a few different things that people have commented on like the YouTube channel, but also on like the TikTok page, because we did say, what did people want to know about? We asked about like favorite Led Zeppelin album. So somebody said their favorite album is Who's Next. That was Crazy Chris 3279 on YouTube. Asked that one. Now you go and you have, let's see where else we got. Oh, we've got somebody, Dynamic Home Maintenance, posted Houses of the Holy / Boston's first LP. There's another one, Keith Bartholomew 9433, Physical Graffiti. So those are a few of the options that were there that they gave their choices.
And let me correct what I said. It was 3 that I liked. I'm sorry. It was Led Zeppelin 4 with Black Dog, Rock and Roll, Stairway to Heaven. And also I agree with you with yours with In Through the Outdoor, because Fool in the Rain, All of My Love, great songs. I mean, I don't know if people caught it years ago, but that used to be like a little ringtone even on AOL, All of My Love.
Yeah. Well,
people had.
But we also have other people. One Dr. Steele on TikTok said Led Zeppelin 1. Name any group had a better premiere album. You can't, because there isn't one, which was responded by John Abraham, who they said Houses of the Holy, but they've also responded to Dr. Steele saying Boston, Guns N' Roses, Zeppelin is far superior band, but I'm not as high on their debut album. That's completely understandable.
Yeah.
Scotty from New York, Page always said that Persistence was his favorite out of all the albums they did. And Crazy Mikey 69_703 said number 2.
Not bad.
The album.
Good albums.
Oh yeah, good albums overall. So,
and remember, one of their songs is an amazing Richard Linklater movie called Dazed and Confused.
Exactly.
And that's still basically almost every year at the Alamo, because it's featured in the Alamo movie houses. It's featured in the background. He's always at the Alamo. Yeah. And it's still an amazing movie, amazing soundtrack and cast, etc. So
Now, let's get on to our last movie that we
And
had
now
on.
the main event of the podcast.
I don't know if I'd call it the main event of the
I know.
podcast, but,
We had a couple of them.
yeah, but Frankenstein by Guillermo del Toro, starring Oscar Isaacs.
Before we do get into this, people who have comments and questions, please, with this movie, email us at
DragoonSlayerPodcast@gmail.com. That's all one word. Dragoon is spelled with 2 O's. That's DragoonSlayerPodcast@gmail.com.
and I'll explain why after you.
Not only that, but you can also make sure that you can leave us messages on Dragoon Slayer Official on Instagram, as well as the Threads account. You can always message on the TikTok page,
Or
which is
any of our pages,
13.
baby.
Yeah, or you can any one of our socials. But now let's get into Frankenstein,
Yes.
or as some people would like to say, Frankenstein. But yeah.
Thank you, Gene Wilder. Mm-hmm. Rest in peace, my man.
Yeah, but no, Guillermo del Toro for me is somewhat of a controversial director because I'm not a huge fan of all of his work. You know, I really enjoy the 2 Hellboys he did. I enjoyed his Blade 2, but there's not really a lot of others that I can really sit there and say I'm drawn to go see.
I mean, if you also remember, he was slated to do the 3 Hobbit movies. However, he only got to do 1, but he was credited with the other 2 of the Hobbit series and everything because they didn't like his vision of the movie, if I'm correct with
and
that.
that's part of the problem when it comes to it, because Guillermo del Toro he's very artistic. He has such beautiful visions that he wants to achieve. The problem tends to be the execution, but also it can go a little extreme if you ask me. So it's not really usually my cup of tea. And I don't drink tea, so figure that one out. But
Coffee.
no, I do not drink coffee. Somebody actually found that really interesting, that I've never had coffee in my entire life.
Those people should stop drinking Nescafe and stop bothering Danny.
No. So, like, the cast for this movie for Frankenstein was absolutely brilliant.
Yes.
Oscar Isaac as Victor Frankenstein did such an amazing job. Jacob Elordi
Yes.
as the creature,
Yes.
that was very moving. Mia Goth as Elizabeth.
Yes.
Now, the only reason I'm not screwing any of this up is because I actually have it pulled up right in front of me.
Good man.
But no, like,
Christoph Waltz.
yeah, as Hardlander, the thing.
His character was amazing in the beginning.
Oh yeah, but the thing is, like, Mia Goth has that very gothic look that you would think more of like a Tim Burton style movie, and I just like I like what she did, but she's not somebody who I would have thought come to mind for like that role.
Yeah.
I'm not saying she did a bad job, just wasn't someone who I would have picked. But then again, not the director. But Oscar Isaac and Jacob Elordi, they did such a great job playing off of each other. Oscar Isaac does such a great job when it comes to like dancing that line of madness with his characters.
Yeah.
And Victor Frankenstein is one that he was really able to shine. Do I want another Moon Knight? Absolutely. Need another season of Moon Knight.
Who doesn't?
But this Victor Frankenstein role was great for him. Like, the effects were outstanding. Like, the scenery looked very gothic, had that feeling that it belonged in that era.
It was in the Victorian, Elizabethan area around England, where they were.
Yeah. And they did such a great job that I had to think back at when was the last time I read the book. And I think the last time that I read Frankenstein was, I think, in high school.
I read it in college with one of the professors. It's after the Renaissance because Shelley is considered in the authors like pool in the modern Elizabethan time authors like Tennyson, Lord Byron, and also her husband Percy.
Yeah.
And they basically, a lot of them had a lot of poetry, but she went with this book and everything. And we'd like to remind everybody that if you saw Del Toro's vision of this, it is the book. It is not the 1931 version of Frankenstein. It is not the Hammer version of Frankenstein.
Yeah.
It is not the, as one professor said, and it still makes me laugh, the Kenneth Branagh version of Frankenstein. Yes, I still remember. I always love when he said when we did the book,
Yeah.
because of that. But this, he basically took the book, and how he put it in the movie was amazing, and how he told the story
Now, I know
was even better.
Yeah. Now I know there were a few like changes to things, but because it's been so long since I read the book, there were certain things that I'm like, that I don't remember that from the book, but at the same time, I can't be 100% sure.
Well, if you look at, you want to laugh and everything, but the only thing that actually that's linked, even with all those movies I mentioned, plus Young Frankenstein from Mel Brooks, is the old man and the little girl.
Yep.
Always links, always keys in the book and all those movies, including his.
Yeah.
Which is still amazing, and everything.
I mean, the way that they put together like the creature, I remember like the book being more like he was out there digging graves, and he was not robbing, like stalking battlefields to go get them. He was actually digging up the bodies.
Yeah.
And this was more like, so there was like, I know, like I said, I know there were certain little changes, but that's something that's not like such a major change.
No, this was pretty good with the change of getting the bodies from these
Like
soldiers.
war sites.
Yes.
Yeah. The thing is that it also was a little off-putting because of the way that the creature looked. It's like very tall, very lanky, but at the same time, it was the scarring where it was like you could see like the different folds of where the skin would have been picked, but you didn't really see the scars. You saw the scar lines, but there was no stitching. It was like the body had already had time to heal.
Yeah.
Which I wouldn't think decayed flesh would have done that at all.
The way his body he was getting killed and all this stuff. What did Marvel Comics get the first rendition of Wolverine out of this? If you look at it,
yeah, the creature was able to be injured to the point where there was massive amounts of blood loss, but then you see it's like he's healed up in like minutes.
Exactly.
Especially where you figure he split the movie into two parts.
Yes.
Because this is a very long movie. I didn't think it needed to be as long as it was. I think that's one of the few things that is part of like Del Toro that it bothered me a little bit was the pacing because it was so long.
I think
This was over 2.5 hours.
Yes. And the funny thing was, I agree with you on that, but he gave in the two parts, he gave us Shelley's interpretation of the book in that movie, which is perfect because that hasn't been done since there was a movie, I think it was made for TV in the 70s, even as I said, in English class. It was mentioned. It had, like, I think it was Robert Foxworth in it or something. I was looking up IMDb on a lot of it and everything. It's probably something that's in an archive that is right next to the Jerry Lewis version of that clown movie where he brings the kids into the chamber there. If you remember, Nuzzy told us about that.
Oh God.
I know, but and Song of the South. So it's over with those two those movies. But
I mean, Song of the South, the movie that will never be released by Disney.
Except on bootleg.
It was released over in Europe on Laserdisc, but never in the U.S.
Nope.
Gee, I wonder why.
After a certain year of the 80s, it disappeared.
It's the same way that the ride affiliated with it at Disney has since now gone the way of the dodo because they got rid of Splash Mountain to turn it into Tiana's Princess and the Frog ride.
Mm-hmm. So, but getting back to the movie Frankenstein and everything, but it's amazing how the captain of this ship at one point he's like ready to attack the monster and everything for what he's doing, but then he hears the full story. He's like, no, Back away. Back away, everybody. Please. Let him be.
Yep.
Let him be. And then he does the nice gesture for them, which was good.
Oh, yeah.
And if you look at it, it still makes me, I'm like, God damn, he could lift up that much.
Well,
that many tons of weight.
Not only that, but when you also look at it from start to finish, they start out there and they're trying to pick out the ship to get it off, and all of the crew is trying to get the captain to just promise they're going to go home once they get free. And he's like, we signed up for a mission, we're doing it.
Yeah.
By the end, it was like, we're all going home. Mm-hmm. And they just pushed right back out.
I know. And they left the ladder there, which made me laugh. I'm looking, I'm like, you got to know the ladder to get down.
Well, hopefully they get to where they needed to go.
Exactly. So, but
now,
Del Toro or not, I'd still recommend this to anybody, and even to basically, I'd recommend to every English class, every English professor, and everything, high school, college. Let your class watch this if you're teaching.
I can't say that because the average class time is not going to be enough to watch this movie.
You know how many days it took us to watch certain movies? It took us
I remember.
Yeah,
I remember.
You had 40 minutes. This would be like maybe 4 or 5 a week, but that would be perfect for
this
class.
This I think is something like you have them read the book, and as a bonus, let the students be able to watch this from home
and do a good 5-page report, double spaced. And everything. Yep, I'll say it. Double spaced.
Like I wouldn't do that to you. I wouldn't do that to
3
you
to
guys.
5.
No, like
3 to 5.
2 to 3 pages. No.
Don't forget the bibliography.
Yeah, no. I would not be. I'm not promoting like telling these kids to do a 5-page.
No, we're not. But you know what though? But I'll tell you one thing though. A lot of the teachers will be like, "Hey, thank you very much for that." But like, what did we do?
Yeah, I'm not going to take the heat from the kids, but
I'll take that heat.
Jimmy,
I don't care.
Can get that heat.
I don't care. Kids, get in the books. Read. God darn it.
Yep. Well, that's the thing. It's like I remember reading it, but like I said, I don't remember the full specifics because it's been so long. But Del Toro, this is one like I liked it, but I'm not going back to watch this again. It's not going to be something that I'm going to watch, and I think that's more for the pacing.
Yeah. I'd watch it maybe if it comes up again down the line. If I'm if like really want to watch something else that I haven't seen in a while, maybe I'll watch. But I will tell you this: I liked it. You did a good job. Kudos on everything on it and everything. I know we'll be up for at least it's going to be up for at least a Golden Globe, Oscar. You don't know if
I think for special effects, it might have something for the makeup.
If it was put in, the stipulations they got with and everything.
I know. Which is why I don't do these award shows.
Exactly.
Because the award shows, I've said it before and I'll say it again.
Schlock.
No, award shows are basically there to give kudos to their friends. Because I knew it was a scam back when The Lord of the Rings first came out with the Fellowship of the Ring. Mm-hmm. And all these awards it was up for Best Picture does not win Best Director, but cleared a lot of awards. They waited until they got to the Return of the King to finally give Peter Jackson his due, and that to me was, you drag this out because you wanted to see the whole thing, to then you're judging it on the whole as opposed to each separate part.
Exactly. And my stand on one person who just, I don't know if you realize, he just got his posthumously star on the Walk of Fame, and it still is. I was even talking to my friend. I was talking to Mitch about it, and it still infuriates me.
And that would be
Chadwick Boseman.
Yep.
That award was his. Granted, I know you gave it to Sir Anthony, but no. That was his. You put it at the end of the show for him, and you pulled this crap. That insulted me. That, and even the Rihanna song, which was about him, you snubbed that too. That kind of really ticks me off.
And that's the problem, because it's all like, one of the issues that I have when it comes to the awards and award ceremonies is they don't look at the money that's coming in. They're looking at it from the artistic perspective or who their friends are. It's no, look at what's profitable. Because if it made money at the box office, it doesn't mean it's garbage.
That's right.
This is one of those things where coming out of the College of Staten Island and going through the film program, you were already out before I finished, but unfortunately, one of the people that was there was not in my graduating class. And we were told, for someone who sat there and told people, oh, Jean-Luc Godard is the greatest filmmaker ever, Hollywood cinema is garbage. That same person was given praise at my graduation ceremony where they showed his film, which was not graduating. I don't understand why they showed his little student film project and saying, Hollywood better watch out. No, Hollywood isn't going to watch out for the guy who's not trying to make something that's going to make money.
Exactly.
There needs to be a profitability factor there, and that's the problem. You have certain people that they don't understand that just because a film makes money doesn't mean it's a bad movie. And I'm going to say this because I need to say this. When you have professors who look at movies that make money and they don't want to acknowledge the quality that was put behind it, the innovations that were made and used to enhance the film industry for special effects, for cinematography, whatever it may be, and they want to call it schlock. That is a professor where you have to ask yourself, what did you do that is telling me that you are the person who's going to help my career?
Exactly. I mean, the one thing that I look at is also, I mean, I agree on that with the profit and everything, but I also look at how these movies do at Sundance, at the TIFF, which is the Toronto International Film Festival, at the with De Niro's Film Festival in New York, both New York film festivals.
Trauma Dance.
Yep. And Cannes. I look at all those and I see, I mean, not for nothing, but I'll even say Saturday Night. Great movie. Jason Reitman did a lot of great justice and everything. Praise to him and all. What did he get at the, like you say, at the award shows? Mm-hmm. Which was wrong. I mean, I agree with you on that, and it made its good money and everything. I've watched it 3 or 4 times on my own because I've watched that first episode. No. I love it. I crack up at that first episode. People don't understand about that first episode and everything with it, and it's rough. But you got to understand. You understand that you see that now, and you understand what it takes and everything. I mean, it's even if you look at the Lucy and Ricky movie that was done with Kidman and Javier Bardem. Amazing movie, and it hit clip on everything on the show, and even showing how Lucy and Ricky had to put up with being, are you guys communists? No, we're not communists. Why are you going after us for? And everything. And how Fred Mertz was always a drunk. William Frawley was always drinking and everything. And everybody didn't never realize that this was William Frawley's next to last role because he did My Three Sons after for a bit. And a lot of people forget about that unless they watched Nick at Night, which is always cute on it and everything. But again, getting back to even Frankenstein and everything, but I'll give it praise. I mean, let's see what the press says in January and everything when they put it up. I wish them all luck and all and everything, but you'll see it on that. But but like I said, for it to go to the bald guy, it had to be put into the theaters and everything. So it has to be there for a certain amount of days, or at least they have to show it by a certain date and all. I've always known. Otherwise, it cannot be considered. But heck, who's counting and all and everything?
Listen, but I will say, I would love to see for best animated pictures that come up for the year. Demon Slayer Infinity Castle movie needs to be up for contention. If that does not win, there is no justice, especially considering how much money it made at the box office for an anime release.
Remember, Disney has been beat.
Yeah.
DreamWorks has beaten it.
Well, no,
And
here's the thing.
And
though.
What do you call has beaten it too.
But here's the thing. This year alone, what are some of the top contenders that you think would be best animated movie?
Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer, but K-pop Demon Hunters.
Mm-hmm.
I would actually put the Twits in line with that.
Agreed.
But I'm sure there are others that haven't seen yet, which
And Zootopia is going to at least be considered at the moment for nomination until.
but it needs to come out first,
It'll be coming out in about a month.
which is once again we got a nice little wrestling tie back there because we're going to have zebra partners that are cops that are going to be voiced by Roman Reigns and CM Punk.
Oh gosh, that's hysterical.
That is Zootopia too, folks. So now I am curious to know if anyone has like a movie that is an animated movie that you think should be the number one contender for the best animated picture for the year at the award ceremonies. Please let us know by emailing us at dragoonslayerpodcast@gmail.com. All one word, Dragoon is spelled with 2 O's. That's dragoonslayerpodcast@gmail.com. Not only that, but you can make sure you can let us know on Dragoonslayer Official on Instagram. You can leave us a comment on any one of the videos on the YouTube channel or on TikTok if this one pops up as a short. But I also want to know, like, which do you think is your top contender, but are there any others that maybe we missed that we should go back and check? Because just from this year, because I still have to watch K-pop Demon Hunters.
You gotta see Flow.
But hang on a second. I need people not to kill me because I have not seen K-pop Demon Hunters yet. That one's coming up soon enough. I will be getting to that one.
I've seen it before you.
Yes, you have seen it before I have. But that's also because
I heard the hype and I had to see this.
I heard the hype, but sometimes I need the hype to die down so that this way I can digest it without the constant hype because I waited years to watch Braveheart. Everyone was telling me how wonderful Braveheart is. Oh, it's this great movie. And then I watched it years later after buying it on DVD. On sale at Saturday Matinee for $7.99, not including my employee discount at the time, and I did not like the movie. I did not care for it. I was like, okay, it looks nice. I just didn't care for the movie. And I'm entitled to that opinion.
He is.
But if I would have gone just with the hype alone, I wasn't too thrilled with Star Wars The Phantom Menace when it first came out because the hype was there. And I waited until the movie theater was virtually empty to see it. And without the hype, I was able to enjoy it, but I also sat there and was like, this isn't as good as everyone's making it out to be. Because, and I knew you when it came out. You had been discussing it with like some of our other friends about like seeing it in the theaters multiple times. I couldn't do it. I saw it once in the theaters and I was okay with it. Working at Saturday Matinee back in 2000, 2001, it actually, because when it came on home release, we had it playing on loop. That's the only reason why I grew to enjoy the movie. It's one of my least favorites out of all of them. But at least up till Duel of the Fates. We got up to the Duel of the Fates and I'm good. Everything before that, I'm like, But Jimmy, you want to tell everyone how they can get in touch with you?
Absolutely, Danny. Thank you very much, everybody. You can still, I believe it's still up on Tubi, all 10 episodes of We Are Family. So please enjoy it. Snapchat, JamesSI0925. Instagram and Threads, JamesH_4th, all in lowercase. Also the same thing on Snapchat. On TikTok, James0925, capital J. Facebook, James Haynes IV. If you go on my Facebook page, please scroll down. Seriously, scroll down because there might be a few other things. There is an Amazon icon there. It is for a Toys for Tots program a few friends of mine are doing, and it's their 7th year. All right? On that list is a wish list for kids too. That, I mean, let's face it. I know you've always had a toy or two underneath your Christmas tree. All right?
Yep.
So have I. But I see a lot of kids that don't, and lately, and seeing a lot of things on the street, it just breaks your heart. So, past couple of years, they've had it up, and I'm like, you know what? Click, so click, and I'll click a bunch of them, and they get delivered, guaranteed, to my friend's house, where they go to the Toys for Tots Marine Corps League that is near them, and believe me, they're grateful for them, these young ladies doing it. So you get a chance, please scroll down my page on it and everything, and I thank you very much for it, and thank you for your support, Bottles and James.
That's right. And you can find me, the Blue Dragoon himself, Blue Dragoon 13, on YouTube channel, on my Blue Sky account, on my Facebook page for the Dragoon's Lair podcast, which is the Dragoon's Lair podcast page, so you can follow along with all the Dragoon's Lair podcast stuff. You got Blue Dragoon 13 on TikTok, Instagram. You have the Dragoon's Lair official Instagram page, where Dragoon's Lair official and Blue Dragoon 13 are both on Threads. Now, just to be clear, I do have a couple of t-shirt designs and stuff that if you could please, and I ask you in this time, possibly purchase some of the like a t-shirt or something. They are pinned in the comments on the Facebook page along with my Blue Sky page. I'm having some issues right now. I want to be able to keep the show going. I want to be able to keep a roof over my head. So if you guys could just do us all a favor and help support the show, buy a mug.
And don't forget to find me on Blue Sky at James925.
Yep. But please make sure, I have the link there. There's fun t-shirt, but then there's all the stuff that is involved for our show. So it's the Dragoon's Lair podcast logo. You can buy a hoodie. You can get it on a t-shirt. You can get a hat. You can get a bumper sticker.
And if you need a sticker from us, please.
No, we do not have any stickers at the moment, at this current time.
They are on order.
On sale on the page, so
Okay.
they can go and order them through the link on the Facebook group page or on the Blue Sky page.
Okay.
They are both listed
Perfect.
there. Only one is pinned on one, the other one is pinned on the other. So please make sure, help support the show. If you can, contribute to the coffee link that is on the Facebook group page, so to help us to keep going with the show, because right now we're in the holiday season and I feel like giving back a little bit.
Yes.
So I am debating, and on the 26th, they are going to be airing the final season, the first part of, what would that be? Oh, Stranger Things. So I'm thinking I might do a stream watch along. So you could watch it along with me when it starts. I may wait until if it comes out at 3 a.m., I might start the stream at 3 a.m. in the morning on the 26th when it's supposed to drop, or if it's dropping later in the day, then I will be starting that stream when it starts. I will let you guys know. I will put a link in the TikTok page. I will put out a notice on all of the socials, but you guys could spend time with me watching and getting to see my reactions. I will try to respond to people. I'm somebody who I get engrossed when I'm watching something, especially for the first time. And I'm going to be starting a rewatch of all the other seasons to get myself ready for it. So if you guys are interested, let me know by dropping us a comment on the YouTube page, or technically this will be out on YouTube after, but let me know in the comments on the Spotify page. You can let me know on TikTok if you're interested. I will be posting a separate post on that to see who's interested in watching a stream along, so we can have a community event and we're all watching it together. But make sure you sign up, and you can join the Discord group, because I might do it specifically through the Discord group, which you can find a link in all of my socials. So this way you can join in and maybe we have some fun, we can shoot the shit while we're going, and we are talking during the episode. If there's something that just blew your mind, we can pause and talk about it and have that community event. So let us know what you think about that, but make sure you tune in on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Audible is available as well. You can also listen to and watch us on Spotify first, and a week later we're on the YouTube channel. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, do all the things, hit the buttons, go from the top down or up to the left to right, whichever one it is. You know, whatever your preferred platform is, make sure that you take part in any of the Spotify polls, because I put them up for each show. We did have a response on that. The one person voted that we do more documentaries.
Hey, why not? And I know I have one set, and we'll talk about that later.
Exactly.
But please, watch Stranger Things. Watch it. Welcome to Derry, because they will be discussed on the next episode, plus whatever we decide in between.
Yep. And it, as a possibility, maybe I'll do a watch along for Survivor Series, War Games, maybe. You tell me if you're interested, and I will be doing that as well. That is always a strong possibility. We're trying to build our community here, and you guys are a key element to that. So we want to thank each and every one of you for joining us once again for the Dragoon's Lair podcast. And remember, folks, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Get out. Bye.